What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be discussing the most favoritism that's not even a word, the most privileged, favoritized UFC fighters in every division. I'm talking about one fighter in each division, contender, not champion obviously, contender that just keeps getting unlimited top 5 opportunities, unlimited title shots, unlimited main events or spotlights that they don't deserve. This is what I'm going to be discussing. I'll give my reasons for each one. You guys can let me know. There's obviously multiple people that could be chosen for each of these divisions. There are a lot of privileged fighters in the UFC. There's a lot of not so privileged fighters. Maybe I could do a reverse of this video. Let me know the most unprivileged or the most unlucky or the most hated by the UFC fighters in each division. Let me know if you'd want to see that. But anyway, let's start off. We're going to start with the flyweight division, move all the way up to heavyweight. I'm sorry, bro. I don't give a fuck about UFC 312. I'll drop picks tomorrow, the day before the fight. I genuinely don't give a fuck about this card. All that video is going to do if I drop 312 picks is go 10 of 10 on my fucking already cooked algorithm, already cooked fucking recommended feed that I'm getting no views on my channel right now. So yeah, I'm not dropping 312 picks and sabotaging my fucking view count. Anyway, I'll drop them tomorrow. Let's move on and start off with the flyweight division. Let me tell you about this kid, Steve Erceg. I don't know what the fuck this guy's done, but he's managed to convince the UFC that he's some fucking pay-per-view superstar. And he's gone from getting a title fight in his 4th UFC fight, coming off wins over fucking Big David Dvorak, Big Alessandro Costa, and Big Matt Schnell. Coming off those 4 wins, out of those 4, Alessandro Costa is the only... Did I just name 3? Out of those 3 wins, Alessandro Costa is the only one still with the UFC. Dvorak got cut and Schnell fucking retired. So that's cold. So W Erceg, honestly, for that one current win on the roster. That's crazy. And then manages to get himself a title shot coming off a KO win over Matt Schnell. Loses by close decision. Gets himself Kaikara France, a warranted fight, right? They then booked this dude against Asu Almabayev. We're like, alright, nothing doing there. You know, that's pretty standard. I thought he might have to fight like a little bit further down the rankings, because I think Almabayev is actually above him in the rankings. So I'm like, alright, not too bad. Then Moreno. Then we get a random cancellation of the Almabayev fight. Not even because Almabayev was injured or off the card. He's now fighting Alan Nascimento, unranked flyweight. Meanwhile, Almabayev is undefeated in the UFC, while Steve Erceg is on a 2-fight loss streak. And then instead of just like pulling Erceg from the fight, and like Erceg's not out, Almabayev's not out, they just pulled him from the fight. You want to know who they're having him fight? Brandon fucking Moreno, number 2 ranked flyweight, coming off a win. Cold, yeah. A round of applause for Steve Erceg. Honestly, I can't hate on the man. You know, some of these I will be hating on the fighters and being like, fuck this guy, they don't deserve shit. Erceg, I can't even hate, bro. This dude came in the UFC, won back-to-back decisions over Dvorak and Alessandro Costa. Beat Matt Schnell, got himself a top 10 ranking somehow, which is fair. Had a really competitive fight with Pantoja, had us thinking this dude was like the 2nd best flyweight in the division. Gets chinned by Kaikara France and is now getting a fight even higher than Kaikara France. He's not even fighting down from Kaikara. I would have thought he would have to be fighting down from his actual ranking. No, he's not even fighting down from Kaikara France's ranking. Like, okay, Almabayev, that would have been fighting down a bit in terms of who he just fought. He's fighting up from Kaikara. He's fighting the number 2 ranked flyweight in a fucking basically number 1 contender fight opportunity. Respect to Steve Erceg, honestly. Bedtime. Congratulations, mate. I think he's going to lose. I think Moreno will beat him in a 5-rounder. Mate, it's close. It actually is close. And the thing is, this is actually not like a favourable matchup, but not an impossible match. This is a better stylistic matchup for him to win than a Kaikara France fight, right? It's a pure striking fight in a fight where he's going to have a reach advantage and a frame advantage, and he's also got solid grappling. So if Erceg wins this fight, then honestly, fair play, bro. He's gone from losing twice, losing an undeserved title shot, losing a top 5 opportunity, and then if he somehow then just wins an undeserved top 3 opportunity, I can't hate on the man. Honestly, respect. Erceg with his fucking The Office looking facial expression has managed to swindle himself into like being a top 3 contender in the UFC, despite being ranked number 10. Kind of nuts. Anyway, let's move on to the Bantamweight division. Sean O'Malley, buddy. Yeah, you're cooked. I don't know what this... Again, okay, the thing is, this is not like this is worse and more obnoxious than Erceg, and more favoritism than Erceg's getting. But it's at least kind of understandable, because the UFC doesn't actually care about merit, they just want money. Usyk is not some pay-per-view draw. At least O'Malley, even though I don't think he's that much of a pay-per-view, like, they had to stack the fuck out of 299 Miami card last year and make it, like, the most unbelievable fucking thing you've ever seen. Like, there was conversation, like, Lucas Tracy was up there saying this card was almost better than 300, right? With big Cheeto Vera in the main event, better than UFC 300, my fucking ass. The Lucas Tracy UFC 300 hate run was crazy. Like, he was dropping, like, weekly videos with paper bags over his head screaming about Holly Holm versus fucking Kayla Harrison. It was actually peak content. But 299, they stacked the fuck out of this, carried the card with Poirier BSD, chucked fucking JDM versus Gilbert Burns, chucked Kevin Holland MVP, Peter Yan on the card, Almeida Blades on the card, made it just the most unbelievably stacked card ever, just to convince us that Sean O'Malley does pay-per-view draw. Even though I guarantee if you take him off the card, it probably reduces about... If you take him off the card and just put a fucking BMF belt or some shit on Poirier BSD for no reason whatsoever, an interim BMF belt, then that probably only does about 50k pay-per-view buys less. And they're trying to convince us O'Malley's the next fucking Conor McGregor, because he hit a step back KO against fucking Aljamain Sterling, right? From the very start, this dude is like just industry plant level fucking he's not even like Conor, who has personality and charisma and is actually funny. This dude has the fucking charisma of a fucking wet towel. Has the charisma of a fucking paint drying in my fucking lounge room right now, bro. Like, Sean O'Malley is like the most unlikable person ever if you take away his fighting style. Now, I know that's like the main thing that we're looking at, but okay, cool. He got some walk-off KOs against some bums. They then gave him Pedro Munoz, so he poked in the eye and got a no contest with in a fight which he was somehow like not looking that good in. He then randomly gets Peter Yan, number 1 ranked bantamweight at the time, or number 2, I think. Number 1, because that was before the Merab fight. So Peter Yan's ranked number 1 at the time. They give it to him. The most, again, coming off not even a win over Pedro Munoz. Did not beat a ranked opponent, by the way. Unless Julian Paiva, fucking Indian-ass dude, was ranked. I don't know. But, like, Pedro Munoz, no contest, apparently gets you a Peter Yan fight. At that point when he only lost 1 fight to Aljo. Right? He then wins a robbery decision. They then set this dude up. Let him sit out for, like, 7-8 months. Let Cejudo's midget ass come back out of retirement to get the shot first. Because originally O'Malley didn't actually want to fight Aljo. That's a fact. That he's like, nah, I'll let Cejudo do it. He wanted Cejudo to win because he viewed that as an easier stylistic matchup. That's what happened. He ended up beating Aljo because they fucking forced Aljo to turn around on 2 months' notice and fight him in Boston. And then he beat him. Like, cool. Good job. That was awesome, right? Then they fucking lay this dude up with the freest title defense ever. The most on-paper fucking stat pad title defense. Cheeto Vera coming off 1 fucking win over Pedro Munoz, by the way. Pedro Munoz, the king of getting you undeserved title shots or top 5 opponents, right? Surprised Kyler Phillips didn't get a fucking Corey Sandhagen fight after he beat Munoz on 299. But, regardless, just the most industry plant fucking on-paper fraudulent fucking title reign ever. Like, okay, you beat Aljo, incredible. If they rematched, I don't think it goes. If they rematched on a full camp, I don't think it goes the same. Maybe it does. I still think he's still a great fighter. I'm not discrediting his fighting skills, but like the opportunities which this guy was set up with, and the sort of just forcing him in our fucking face, acting like he's the next superstar, was just retarded. He then gets just taken down a bunch by Merab. And there's now talks of giving this dude a fucking title shot without another title fight, without even having to fight again in the first place. He should be rematching Peter Yan in a 5-round fight so he can't get away with a robbery decision based off 3 rounds. Because if he fights 5, there's no way he beats Yan, in my opinion. But there's talks of not even doing Yan. There's talks of this dude just fucking hopping in there, probably on International Fight Week, and just getting a free title shot. And if he fucking wins, that will literally... Like, it will be impressive that he beat Merab, but it will be the most fucking fraudulent, non-deserved championship win ever. It's just pissing me off, dude. O'Malley, I fucking hate this guy. Degenerate, fucking shares his wife. Cool, buddy. You want to wear a fucking Christmas tree as your outfit. Congrats. Like, what random frolicky fucking shredded clothes are you going to wear today? Dumb fucking whore. Anyway, let's move on to the featherweight division. Featherweight, I couldn't really think of anyone that privileged, so I just went with Yair Rodriguez, as Chael Sonnen would call him. I don't know, yeah, he's not like overly privileged, but I guess, I don't know, they gave this dude an interim, they gave this dude like the most on paper fucking fraudulent interim belt of all time, when Volk was fighting on the same card and turned around like 4 months later. Just the most like absolutely non-fucking meaningful interim title ever. Gave this dude a custom fucking belt because they want a Mexican champion in the UFC. And so they posted a fucking photo of like him, Grasso, and Moreno and be like, 3 Mexican champions. Like, this dude's not a fucking champion. No one with a brain views this dude as a champion. Great fighter, fun fighter. I like Yair as a fighter. But yeah, I don't know what they were doing there. He then loses to Volkanovski. Fair enough. They then give him Ortega in a main event, which he won the first fight due to injury. That's fair. I don't mind that, right? He then loses to Ortega after a dominant first round. Ortega comes back, submits him. Fast forward to today, he is now ranked above Brian Ortega, and they're not going to pan out. It was declared as false, but there were fucking rumors that this dude's going to fight Diego Lopez. And even if it's not Lopez, like, this dude's probably fighting like Arnold Allen or something like that, which is fair. And again, this is not me hating on Yair, because he's not that privileged, there's not that obnoxious, but I do think there is a bit of privilege there. They do seem to want to like be giving this dude opportunities, make him, put him in the spotlight a bit more, kind of show him off as like a Mexican fighter. And again, those Lopez Yair rumors they had smoke behind them, like they were kind of in the works, and my theory as to why they ended up not being the main event is because they don't want to book Lopez, because they might need him to fight Volk if Top Tordo goes up to lightweight, because that is seeming likely now. So we'll see what happens there, but maybe, and if not, then they probably just want to do a Movsar fight, and they realize that they should think logically and actually book the division how it's supposed to be. But yeah, you lost to Brian Ortega. How are you going to now fight the guy that just beat Brian Ortega? Like, how the fuck's that supposed to work? So yeah, no hate on him. I actually do like Yair. He's a very fun fighter. But, I don't know. Bit of privilege. Again, featherweight, who would you have said? Contenders-wise. Like, Holloway, not really. He's even had to, like, Holloway's a guy that you could just give privilege to and just give him undeserved shots. But they didn't. Like, he actually had to fight after the Volk rematch twice against Cater and Yair. Anyone else? Like, Movs are definition of not privileged. I don't know, like Josh Emmett, maybe. I don't know. Not really, but like, there's not that many privileged fighters at featherweight. Featherweight's kind of a division that you just have to work your way up, and if you lose, you lose, and you're down the rankings most of the time. But I don't know. Yair's my pick. Let's move on, though, to the lightweight division. Michael Chandler. This dude is actually starting to piss me off right now. I've got a lot to say about Michael. Let me tell about this kid, Michael Chandler. This dude's a fucking dope bag, man. But I fucking hate Michael Chandler. Like, he's a fun fighter, and it sucks that he is such an absolute cunt of a person. Because he would be if he had a good personality and was likable with the way he fights, it would be like, bro, sick, this dude's awesome. But every time this dude opens his fucking mouth, it just makes me want to, like, call up Dana, because I've got Dana on my contacts. I'd be like, yo, Baldy, can you fucking cut this dude? But they won't, because for some reason, the fucking Ari Emanuel's probably fucking... I'll stop myself there, but, like, this dude is a fucking industry plant. I don't care. Why is this guy getting ridiculously fucking infinite top 5 opportunities? Right? Let's run through the career of Michael Chandler. Comes over as a Bellator fighter, not even like an undefeated Bellator fighter. A former Bellator champion, a good Bellator fighter, a fun fighter, who was known amongst the hardcore fans. He then fights Dan Hooker, KOs him. He was the backup fighter for Khabib Gaethje, mind you, by the way. Then he gets Dan Hooker in his debut. Comes in, KOs him. Congrats, good stuff, right? And then he gets a title fight against Charles Oliveira. Poirier at the time was more deserving than Chandler was of the title. Obviously, Poirier was coming off wins over Dan Hooker, Conor McGregor in the rematch, right? He deserved it more. We all agree, but he wanted to take that Conor trilogy. I do believe they gave him the option. So fair enough, Chandler gets his title fight, he wins. He loses, sorry. Then he fights Gaethje, who was coming off a loss to Khabib. That's fair, that's just a fun fight. Their matchmaking just a fun fight, you know? Then they give him Tony Ferguson, who was already on a 3-fight loss streak at the time, I believe, of, Dariush, Gaethje, and Oliveira. 3-fight loss streak, Tony Ferguson was getting kind of pieced up in round 1, gets the KO in round 2, gets on the mic like a retard, screams his head off, cool, hype, I guess. Calls out Gaethje and Oliveira for rematches when they both whooped his ass. Then he gets Dustin Poirier, alright, cold. I think that was Poirier coming off the loss to Oliveira. But again, that's Chandler fighting up the rankings. Again, he did get a win, to be fair, but again, just like, it's like 1 loss, 1 win, straight back into the top 5. He then loses to Poirier by round 3 fucking submission, takes up 2 years off, just is sucking off Conor got his full fucking nose in his asshole, like his nose inside Conor's fucking rectum, and just absolutely gobbling on it. I don't know what I'm even saying right, but that Chandler was just on some different level of fucking brown nose glazing of Conor McGregor trying to get that fight. Just, bro was showing up on fucking WWE, fucking Monday Night Raw, calling out Conor McGregor. Like, these guys don't care about you, little bro. I'm saying that to a 38-year-old man, yes, I know. But, like, then he doesn't get the Conor fight. Sorry, buddy, Conor doesn't want to fight you. You're not that interesting. Apart from throwing fucking overhands and backflipping and screaming, you've got nothing else to you. Cool, you have a black kid, we get it. But Michael Chandler, he then ends up finally giving up on the Conor fight and getting an Oliveira fight. Again, why the fuck, coming off a loss after 2 years off, do you get a Charles Oliveira fight? Yes, it's Oliveira coming off a loss, but it's also Chandler coming off a loss, where he's now at that, before the Oliveira fight, was he 2-2? Or was he... He's 2-3. He was 2-3 going to that fight. After that, he's 2-4. I know the rumors have now apparently come across as false, and people are saying fake news. I'm still not all the way convinced that it's gonna end up being false. Like, I think the UFC might end up just doing it. Because for rumors to start, it's not like Ruben Carter posting them. Like, for rumors to start, there has to be some sort of basis. Like, the fight was at least mentioned. So it could still end up happening. And if he fucking fights Arman Tsarukyan, it is legitimately the most privileged fucking individual I've ever seen in the sport. Like, this is more than, like, McGregor levels of privilege. McGregor at least, like, was winning fights to then get the levels up. And when he lost a fight, he won it back. He didn't lose to Nate Diaz to just drop to lightweight and get a title shot. At least he beat Nate Diaz to get... This is, like, unseen fucking levels of privilege if he gets a Tsarukyan fight. If he gets anyone above him in the rankings, God forbid this dude gets a fucking Dustin Poirier rematch. Or a fucking Charles Oliveira... No, you're not going to get an Oliveira trilogy. But, like, even someone around it... Like, he should be fighting, like, 12 through 20 range of the division. He should be fighting Joel Alvarez next. He should be fighting fucking Fares Ziam next, or Paddy Pimblett at least. He doesn't deserve a big spotlight, and even if it's like not a massive name, they keep fucking putting this dude in like pay-per-view feature fights or co-main events. Like, why are we so desperate to have this dude in the spotlight? He's not that big of a name. Like, there's like 6 other people at lightweight who are bigger names than this dude, honestly. Like, Paddy Pimblett has a bigger fan base than fucking Michael Chandler. Gaethje, Holloway, Poirier, Oliveira, Islam, Paddy, all these guys are fucking bigger names than Michael Chandler, and he just repetitively is just getting these fucking opportunities. I don't know why. I fucking hate it. It's retarded. He's an industry plant, so they can broadcast the fact that he's got a black kid, because that's what they want to do. Sorry if you think that's wrong. You can say, oh, left lane's trying to be edgy. It's just fucking true. What other reason is there? Let's move on, though, to the next division. Welterweight division. I was choosing between either Colby Covington or Kamaru Usman, but we haven't seen the same level of privilege for Usman, for Usman, Kamaru Usman. But Colby Covington, right, like, at least he took the Buckley fight. I'll give him credit for taking it, even though he got his ass whooped, and he's still coping about it. But this dude legitimately got a fucking title shot coming off 1 win over 37-year-old Jorge Masvidal after a 1.5 fucking layoff. And we're trying to act like this dude isn't unbelievably privileged. He sucks off Donald Trump and tries to assimilate himself with Dana and his crew so that Dana will like him more and give him opportunities. He's just a fucking nuisance. You're cringe. Doesn't matter how many chicks with boob jobs that you pay to fucking stand next to you and put their arms around you uncomfortably. You're not cool. You don't have a personality. You're boring. You're fake. You're cringe. You're not that good of a fighter. That's my thoughts on that. Now thoughts as well on Colby Covington. I fucking hate Colby. I had him like number 3 or 4. I think number 3 in my most hated UFC fighters video. I fucking do not like this guy. You can't, there's been people be like, oh, you don't soy left lane hating on a based Chad like Colby. I'm like, this dude is the definition of not a based Chad. One, he doesn't believe all the shit he said. So even if you take the stuff he says on face value and be like, oh, based, One, he doesn't know half the shit he's saying. He's probably watching random fucking right-wing podcasts on the weekend trying to figure out what he's going to say at his next media day to try and come across as like, oh, guys, see, I'm part of you guys. I'm right-wing, yeah, look at me. Trump doesn't like you. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't know you. You're not even on his top 5 favorite fighters list. Anyway, Colby, the privilege is not that much, but apparently they might have offered him Shavkat. I think he turned it down. He turned down Shavkat, of course he did, because he would have fucking lost embarrassingly. But for some reason thought he could beat Buckley, got his ass whooped, glad about it. That was that and the Izzy Amava fight, like the two most happy I've been to see someone lose in the last like year, honestly. Like I actually and Chandler Oliveira. I actually fucking hate Colby. Anyway, let's move on to the middleweight division. Middleweight division, there's a few guys to think about. Hamzat Chimaev, Israel Adesanya. I've gone with Paulo Costa though, because he is quite literally Steve Erceg maxing in the way where, or maybe Steve Erceg did it first. Or Paulo Costa did it first. Steve Erceg copied him, because this dude, right? Let's run through the career of Paulo Costa. Beats Yoel in a close fight. Yoel gets the title shot, then Paulo gets it after that. Gets KO'd by Izzy. Fights Vettori, misses weight by no joke 20 pounds. Sounds like a you problem. Based, I respect it. I actually like Costa, by the way, so this is not me hating on Costa. This is more just me confused about the privilege. He then fights Vettori, loses to mediocre Marvin, comes back after however the fuck knows long, has a bunch of fights in the meantime cancelled. I think he pulled out of a few of them. Some other people pulled out. Gets Luke Rockhold in his retirement fight. Chinny ass Luke Rockhold should be KO'd by anyone with pop. Takes him to a decision. Fucking Rockhold's at the end of the fight on top of you, smearing his fucking period blood face into yours. I don't know what he's doing, right? Wins that fight, but looked mid as fuck. He then gets the Hamzat fight booked. Pulls out with his fucking staph infection or whatever on his elbow. Fair enough. He then gets a... No, sorry, let me just say this. 284 was booked to fight Robert Whittaker. He pulls out of that just because I never signed the contract. I'm not fighting him. Why? Right? Doesn't fight Whittaker at 284. Then gets Hamzat at 290. Pulls out. Then gets Whittaker at 298. Not sure how. Was it 298? It was. 298. Gets Whittaker at 298. Not sure how. Not sure how he managed to fuck... Oh, not 290. It was 294 where he pulled out of, sorry. And then he gets 298 against Whittaker. Not sure why he got that opportunity after coming off a win over Luke Rockhold and pulling out of a Hamzat fight. Awesome, though. Anyway, regardless, he then loses cleanly to Whittaker in a back-and-forth fight. Fun fight, but a clear loss. He then manages to get Sean Strickland in a 5-round pay-per-view co-main event. Round of applause, Paulo Costa. As the number fucking right now, I think he's like number 12 middleweight. Maybe he's like number 8 because the UFC rankings are retarded. I just pulled up Instagram Reels accidentally. Paulo Costa. Wait, no. UFC rankings. Let me pull that up. Where's Costa? Like, because again, I don't know how he's managed to... He has no wins over currently signed UFC fighters. He doesn't have a fucking win over an actively employed fighter on the roster. Now, I do respect Costa's Twitter game. It is tremendous. But, like, in terms of his standing in the division, this dude is ranking squatting beyond belief. Where's he ranked? He's number 11, and his last fight was against number 1 Sean Strickland after he was coming off a loss. Enough said. I don't know what the fuck he's got. Maybe the UFC just because he's popular, which is fair, but, like, why is this dude not fighting... Why was he fighting Sean Strickland instead of, like... Anthony Hernandez, or Brendan Allen, or Nasruddin Imad. Even Imad was above him at that time. But, like, even Michel Pereira before he fought Hernandez would have been, like, a cool fight. Like, why was it... Even, like, Cannonier coming off a few losses would have been acceptable. But he gets Sean Strickland coming off a title fight loss to Dricus du Plessis, while he's coming off a win over retired Luke Rockhold, who at that point had already lost to Mike fucking Perry in BKFC. No shame in that. And now he's saying fight news for the fucking Miami card. Who knows who he's fighting? Probably fucking Caio Borralho somehow. But no, basically everyone at middleweight's booked. So if this dude gets anyone in the top 10, I'd be shocked. Unless someone's pulled out of a fight and they've like rebooked something. But Paulo Costa should be fighting an unranked opponent right now. He should be or like a low end. Like he should have been fighting like Shara if the MVP fight didn't happen. Or he should be fighting like Roman Kopylov or Jack Hermanson. One of these fights is what Costa should be getting. But watch him get some top 10 guy at light heavyweight. Watch them give him like, send him up to light heavyweight, give him fucking Volkanovs to me. Like, that's the type of privilege Costa's probably going to be getting. Anyway, let's move on to the next division. light heavyweight division, Alexander Rakic. This dude, I like Rakic, right? But it's kind of difficult to like him at this point because he's just losing fights. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. After injuring himself against Jan Blachowicz, he comes back. His next fight back, they initially rebooked him on 297 for a rematch with Blachowicz. I don't mind that. Same as Ortega, Gamrot, you're coming off a loss, a fluky sort of injury loss in a competitive fight. I'm okay with rebooking it, right? Blachowicz pulls out. He gets Yuri coming off a loss. I don't mind that, It's like a bit questionable, like maybe. And again, he's like number 5 ranked after beating like who? Like I am trying to figure out who this dude beat to get number 5. And he's managed from the point where he lost to Jan Blachowicz, maybe he's moved up. He might have moved up. Before the point where he lost to Blachowicz via injury in May of 2022. I'm not sure where he was at the time, but he might have actually managed to move up in the rankings since then. And if so, I immensely respect that because he's done nothing wrong apart from lose. But the rankings are just retarded, so they keep pushing him up or not moving him down. Because in my opinion, if you lose, there should be a punishment for losing to someone above you. Like, if you're number 7 fighting the number 2 guy and you lose, you can't just be like, alright, no worries, I'm back to number 7, I'll probably fight the number 5 guy next. Like, no. Drop down a few spots. If you're losing fights, you should drop down. Doesn't matter who it's against. Unless it's like Moicano losing to fucking Islam. But, like, if you lose a contender fight and you're below them in the rankings, that shouldn't be just a free pass to either get top 5 or just stay where you are. Like, Rakic, I actually don't mind Rakic, but again, Yuri fight, loses, and then he gets Unkalai. And that's when it was just like, alright, I can't defend this, buddy. If he'd gotten like Jamal Hill coming off the Pereira loss, I wouldn't have minded it. If he'd gotten like a Khalil Roundtree fight, or if he'd gotten a Volkan Ozdemir rematch, or one of those type of fights, he's somehow... I need to check, brother, we have to check. Who give this guy number 5 ranking, brother? We have to check this. But let me check. Is he number 5? Because if he's number 5, that's actually outrageous. Watch them, like, if Blachowicz loses to Wahlberg, watch them fucking put Blachowicz behind him. Despite this, they'll actually do that as well. Light heavyweight. Alexander Rakic is number 5. He hasn't won a fight since, like, 2021. I respect it, honestly, because if you're gonna like, he's doing nothing wrong. He can't help himself. He's losing the fights. It's all good, He doesn't have to win, but apparently you can still be top 5 despite not winning a fight in 3.5 years. So I respect it, honestly. Congratulations to Rakic. I got no issue with the man. Let's move on, though. He's probably gonna get the loser of, like, Pereira Ankalaev in his next fight. He's going to get, like, Olberg with a win. Or, like, he's going to get a Blachowicz rematch immediately if Blachowicz loses to Olberg. Or even if he beats Olberg. I don't know what this guy's up to. Anyway, let's move on to the heavyweight division. No, this is not good selection for me. I need to be fighting fat heavyweight to get my title shot in Paris. Yes. This is the way. Oh la. Cyril Gane. I mean, heavyweight, they're a bunch of blobs, like, no one's that privileged. I was gonna just put Jones, because realistically he's not the champion, because they're giving this dude free fucking 42-year-old men as title defenses. This is even more, that Stipe fight was more shameless than the Cheeto fight, by the way, with the current state. Actually, not really, because Stipe at least had the, like, legend status, but, like, Cheeto was just a dude who beat O'Malley. But, yeah, to be fair, what's more, let me know in the comments, give me a good idea of how many of you are still fucking watching. What was a more undeserved title fight? Stipe against Jones or Cheeto against O'Malley? Cheeto at least was coming off a win, so maybe Stipe Jones was more undeserved. But, Gane, yeah, this dude's boxing up fat heavyweights with 50 punch back of the head combinations in Paris, calling for a title shot, winning robberies over Alexander Volkov. It is what it is. Gane, he's doing his thing. Again, this is no one else at heavyweight, like Pavlovich, no. Blades, no. Fucking Tai Tuivasa on it. Tai Tuivasa, for still being ranked top 15, might deserve a mention. Gaziev gets the ultimate privilege, they pay him in Big Macs, not money. That's the real privilege. But who else? Like, are we saying Marcin Tybura is a great fight? I love to fight him. Is Marcin Tybura the fucking heavyweight pay-per-view superstar that's getting all the privilege? Not really. Maybe Don'Tale Mays for managing to get a ranking coming off a loss to Rodrigo Nascimento. No, I think he beat Caio Machado since then, actually, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of guys. Well, there's not a lot of guys at heavyweight that I could say are privileged. Gane would be the main one. He got a fucking title fight against Jonathan Jones, coming off win over Taco Bell Tuivasa. Planet Fitness gym trainer extraordinaire. Literally does his fight camps out of Planet Fitness. That's outrageous. Anyway, though, that will do it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who are the most privileged fighters in every division? Do you agree with my selections or not? Disappointing news, obviously, with the cancellations of Cap and Royval. El Mabayev stepping in as the main event, and then Cruz is out as well against Rob Font. Interested to see who they get there to replace. Apart from that, that'll do it. I'll drop 312 picks tomorrow. I don't care about the card though. Anyway, goodbye. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.